Hey guys, welcome to the next video in the Getting Started with LightBurn series. Today we're actually going to be creating text and shapes using the LightBurn tools. And this is some of my favorite parts of LightBurn, and I'm really excited to show some of these tools. Now, the biggest one is text creation. So to create text in LightBurn, it's pretty simple. It's like a lot of other softwares. We have a text create and edit tool. And when we click on this, it brings up the text bar. Now, to show the power of this, I'm going to use a script font, which if you've ever tried to do any sort of cutting with a font in the past, I'm sure you've been frustrated because normally it doesn't work very well, and I'll show you guys why. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on my workspace somewhere to get a cursor going, and I'm just going to type a word. For lack of a better word, we'll use LightBurn. Now, the first thing we'll do is we'll change the height of it. Now, notice the live editing. And if you look, you'll see that my font already looks like it's right for engraving or cutting. Now, this is because by default, LightBurn has the weld option turned on. Normally, when your fonts come in, they look like this. So you end up either cutting out letters in ways that you wouldn't want to. Like we wouldn't want that little guy cut out of the G or out of the T. Or you end up with weird, not fully engraved spots. Like this spot normally would be excluded from a scan operation. We don't want that. So by default now, LightBurn has the weld option turned on, and this is really exciting because now, even after it's welded, we can still edit. So I can change the horizontal space or the kerning of our font live. And you notice it live welds. So now we see how the vector from the font is being affected here. And then eventually the B and the U and the L start getting welded into their adjacent letters. This is probably the one coolest thing that I'm the most excited about in LightBurn yet. This changes everything with creating fonts. It's pretty exciting. Same thing with the vertical spacing. We can just move our words up and down, and we can change how our words are aligned. We can also live change our font, and it live welds. This is just really neat. So I'm going to stick with the script font that I picked here. I'm not even going to try and say the word because I will butcher it. And we're going to move it over here. Now, the next thing we're going to do is, I'd like to turn this into a plaque. So I'm going to create a rectangle to go around it. And, I'm going to eyeball the size. And I'd like to change the size and the positioning of this. So we'll click the selection tool, select our rectangle, and I'm going to make this 70 millimeters tall. But notice it changed its width at the same time. And that's because I have the aspect ratio locked here with the padlock. That means as I change the width, it's going to proportionally change the length, or vice versa. Now, I don't necessarily want to do that because I want this to be a whole number and a specific number. So I'm going to click the lock, and I've decided that 70 is too tall. Let's try 65. Still a little too tall. 60, 50, 50. 50 is the right number. And I think 200 is probably the right number for the length. Now I want to make sure that these are centered up with each other. So I'm going to select everything. and click the Align Selected Objects to their Vertical Centers button. So that shifted the words. And Align Selected Objects to their Horizontal Centers button. And then that centered everything. So now the rectangle and our font are centered to each other. And for the last thing, I have a CNC machine, and that inherently makes me hate square corners. Everything should be curved because curves look nice. And there's a really easy way to radius these corners in LightBurn, and that's with the shape properties. And if shape properties isn't somewhere over here, it's really easy to enable. You go to Window and select Shape Properties. And in the Shape Properties box, there's this option called Corner Radius. So the easy way to do it is to click the up or down arrows, and we can change the size of the corner radius. That looks pretty good. And now we're ready to go. One last thing though, I think when I finish this out, I think I want to make another second line for our actual cut. So we can etch this one in to make LightBurn stand out a little more and add a little bit of size to our plaque. So what if we highlight that and we use our offset shapes tool, and I'm going to offset it outward 10 millimeters. We'll leave the corner style as round. And since these are tied together, I can't change the corner style, but that's okay. That's kind of how I want it. So I hope you guys picked up some good things from this video. In this one, we covered creating shapes and creating text and editing it on the fly. Thanks for watching, and be on the lookout for the next LightBurn tutorial.